Great decorating is all about the details, including a gorgeous textured set of coasters. How we love a coaster. Functional. And why not be beautiful? Quince has a gorgeous set of woven rattan coasters in 3 terrific colors with their own little holder that you're going to absolutely love. And if you haven't visited quince.com/DTT yet, get on over there. It's everyday elevated living without the markup. From crisp 100% linen bedding and soft organic cotton towels to airy curtains and premium kitchen tools designed for everyday use. And the best part? Like Quince's clothing, their home goods are half the cost of similar brands. By partnering with top artisans, Quince cuts out the cost of the middleman and passes the savings on to us. And Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices and premium fabrics and finishes. Elevate your space with home essentials from Quince. Go to quince.com/DTT for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's Quince, QUINCE.com/DTT to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/DTT. You gotta hear this. Hey everybody, it's Kelly Wilkniss here with Anita Joyce, and this is Decorating Tips and Tricks. Today we're sharing our Decorating Tips and Tricks summer listening list with you.
You know, this was tough.
Because there's so many great episodes.
Yes. I had such a hard time figuring out which ones I wanted to talk about today because there's so many episodes. I'm like, oh, that one. How many are we limiting to?
So what we thought we'd do today, as we're sort of in the middle of summer, and we're going to take our usual little summer break from recording new episodes and share some DTT classics with you, we thought we'd give you some additional listening so you can get all the DTT that you need over the summer. One of the reasons we decided to do this is because it is pretty hard to search for specific podcast episodes. I use the Apple Podcast app when I am listening, and you can't really go into a specific podcast and then search their content to listen to certain things. Say you wanted to throw a summer party, or you wanted to learn about coffee tables or something specific. You can't really search it well there. You can, of course, go to your laptop or computer and go to our site and then use the search bar, which will take you directly to all the episodes that have your key topic in it. If you type in coffee, you're going to get coffee table episodes. You type in sofas, you're going to get sofa episodes. So that's super helpful. But it's not easy when you're actually inside a podcast app. So we thought we'd pull out some of the must-listen DTT episodes because, you know, there's a lot of them, 635, including this one.
Yes, there are so many. There are so many episodes, and I admit I kind of went toward the ones that really resonated with me personally. So I think you're going to get a mix of things here between what you're recommending and what I'm recommending. So hopefully you're getting a variety of things and it'll be a fun listen.
Anita has a way of streamlining the search a little bit within a podcast app. So she can explain that to you a little bit. So to help you find what you want, not only for Decorating Tips and Tricks, but any other podcast that you're listening to.
Well, in the Apple Podcast app, there is a search bar. I first put in the name of the podcast, a space, and then a few keywords of the topic I'm searching for. And then in the search results, they may show a few other podcasts, but most of the lists down there are going to be from that particular podcast. So I did use that technique to find some of the episodes that we're talking about today, and it worked very well for me.
Okay, so that's a great tip. I was not doing that. If I wanted to find a certain episode in a particular podcast that I enjoy, I just kind of scrolled through. And that takes forever, especially when there are 635 episodes.
Yes.
The way I search to prepare for today and otherwise for other podcasts, I go to the website of the podcast and then I usually use the search bar. And that's what I did today. And boy, did I fall down our own rabbit hole. I was like, oh gosh, remember that one? That was so good. So yeah, it was hard to choose. What I did was kind of focused on maybe some things you'd want to do this summer as far as decorating. That's sort of easy. And then something that is obviously very in tune with the season. And you'll understand that one when we get to it. So Anita, you want to kick us off with your first DTT summer listening episode?
Well, and also I think my list is kind of a cozy, fun list. So my first one is English country style. This was such a favorite for both of us to do. I loved recording it. I loved looking at all the inspirational photos when I was getting ready for the episode. It's a cozy, cozy style. It's the traditional country English style, what you would see maybe in a traditional home in the countryside, but maybe you would see something similar in a townhouse in London. So there's so many places to see this. And if you want this style, if you like hearing about it, take a listen to this episode. We're going to link to all of them in the show notes, but also just a little tip off the top of my head, go to houseandgarden.co.uk and you are going to be inspired for hours. You can go down the English country rabbit hole at your leisure.
Yeah, soak it up. And such a wonderful decorating style to live with. It's just so comfortable and welcoming. We love it. And you can riff off it. It doesn't have to be super, super saturated with so many patterns and things like that. You can make it your own, like we tell you all the time. So my first one is pretty practical. It's a coffee table episode, and we called it Coffee Table Talk because you might remember. And it's the how, why, which for that essential piece of furniture. I just see so many bad coffee tables, and I think it's so easy to pick the right one, really. And it can transform a room. And we all know that Anita loves the ottoman look, and I tend to go with a very simple coffee table. But preferences aside, there are details in this episode about how to choose a coffee table, how high it should be, how big it should be, vis-a-vis your other pieces of furniture and all that. So it's a super helpful episode.
It's so interesting you say that, Kelly, because I find the same thing. When I look at coffee tables online, on stores, even on Pinterest, I would say 90% of the coffee tables I see, I would not have in my house. I just don't like them. I think they're too clunky or weird, or they're just not nice. So there's very few that really meet a criteria that I personally have. So I think this is something that a lot of people have a hard time getting right. And I don't even think the manufacturers do a great job curating it down to just really elegant, beautiful styles. So, take a listen to that episode. I think we highlighted a lot of really very nice coffee tables that would go with a variety of styles.
What's your next one?
It is French country style, because I love these episodes that tell you how to do a specific style. And of course, I had to include French country style because that's my own personal style. And I had so much fun talking about that. And I took another listen to it before we recorded, and it was a fun episode. We really had a good time with it. So I think that's a fun one to listen to. And again, French style, you do not have to do your entire house in French style. I did to a large extent, but that's not what you have to do. If you want to add a little elegance to your home, you just can add just a little bit of French elegance just here or there. And this episode tells you how to do it. So I think it's a great listen.
Oh, and you're getting advice on French country style from the master. So enjoy, listen to it, take notes. Kitchen cabinets. Another place that really is problematic for a lot of people. We get a lot of questions on that. So I thought this would be a great episode to highlight, particularly if you're new to us. This episode was way back in the 300s. So that's a long time ago. Kitchen cabinets deep dive. In this episode, we blow your mind and the doors off your kitchen cabinets with advice, ideas, and of course, tips. So whether you're thinking about doing a full kitchen renovation or whether you're considering just even painting your kitchen, this is a great episode to get lots and lots of ideas and inspiration and actually kind of some step-by-steps how-tos.
Having just redone the cabinets in my house that we just bought, I can tell you it is a big project and can be very involved. And we actually refaced, but I did reconfigure to some extent the cabinets. So this is something that you really want to get right because it's a very expensive redo. So I think this is definitely worth a listen if you're thinking about redoing your kitchen. So I think that's very helpful to listen to that episode. My next one, outdoor decorating tips and decoration. I've been listening to a lot of health professionals or experts talking about the importance of being outdoors. There's so much health benefit to breathing fresh air because the air in your home is much more polluted than you realize. A few episodes ago, we talked about the VOCs in your air. Going outside and breathing in fresh air is very good for your health. It's great to get that vitamin D from the sun. And I think it just helps you relax and, get that weight of the world off your shoulders. So I think this is a great episode to kind of help you make that outdoor space much more inviting. If you have a beautiful outdoor space, I think you're going to want to go out there. You're going to want to entertain out there. But if it's not so nice, if it's not swept and there's not a really comfortable place to sit with a cushion, you're probably not even going to go out there. So I think that there's a lot to be said for setting up an outdoor area, not only just for you to enjoy and for you to entertain, but also for your own health.
I'm all about being outside and being in the garden and even breathing in the soil. I mean, obviously not inhaling the soil, but
right.
There are health benefits to working with the soil and being that close to it.
Yes.
Get yourself out there, set up a little spot, even if it's just one little chair and a side table. Enjoy.
Well, they think there's a lot of very beneficial bacteria in the soil.
Powder room decor deep dive. It's super hot here, and I think it's super hot everywhere. So if you can't be outside for too long, or you could just be outside in the morning and the afternoon, you might want to think about a really transformative yet not overly taxing decorating project. And a powder room would be perfect for these hot days of the summer. You can come inside and you can transform your powder room. We have so many great ideas for this small but mighty space and how you can make it a jewel box. So I absolutely love doing this, and you are going to love it every time you go into that powder room.
Well, I think you make a good point. It's a small space. So whatever you do is going to make a major impact. Unlike maybe a big living room, if you just change out one photo or one piece of artwork on the wall, it may not make a big difference in a living room. But in a powder room, if it's the wall you look at when you walk in, it's going to feel like you made a massive difference to the room. So you're right. I think it's a fun upgrade for your home. And if you decide to paint it, boy, it's going to be a lot faster to paint a powder room than, again, a large room like your living room. So I think it's a fun project. And if you have guests, they're all going to end up in there. So why not create a fun space? So I think that's a great summer project.
Hey, we'll be right back with the rest of the show, but keep listening so we can continue bringing you DTT. So have you tried Dupe yet? If you haven't, come on, dupe.com. It is going to be your new shopping best friend. And it's not just for furniture. I know I've shared with you about my coffee table dupe, but you can save money with Dupe on fashion, shoes, jewelry, and more. I just used Dupe to find an absolute perfect twin of this t-shirt that I wanted. It was an $80 t-shirt. I was not going to pay $80 for a t-shirt. Dupe helped me find the twin, like maybe the exact same shirt. Find something you love, and then you can find replicas, twins, and maybe the exact thing for so much less. Give Dupe a try today. It is really so easy to use. You just type DUPE.com, before any product URL in your browser, and voila, it instantly finds you less expensive alternatives. They even have an app and a browser extension you can download. No account is required. No sign up is required. It is completely free. I know, can you believe it? But it is completely free to use. Stop wasting money on brand names and start saving with dupe.com today.
Another episode that I chose was How to Tell Your Home Story. I loved this episode so much. We had a lot of fun with it, and it really talks about personalizing your home to suit you so that your personality infused there. And you might think, well, of course everybody's personality is in their home. They decorated it themselves probably. But we see so many homes on Instagram, on Pinterest, that have no personality, that are bland, and I dare I say lifeless. You should have your personality showing in your home. If you're fun and lively, then why not add some fun fabrics and liveliness and maybe whimsy to the room to showcase that part of your personality? If you're very serious, then maybe you want to go with all elegance and nothing too twee, as you say, Kelly. So I think there's a lot to be said for doing this. I think you're going to enjoy your home more if you personalize it, and people that come to your home are going to enjoy visiting it so much more because it's going to feel so unique.
That was a really great episode. There are so many episodes where we really focus in on giving you concrete information and how to use that information and translate into things that you're doing or things that you might consider purchasing. But this conversation was more of an exploration, right? Of the kind of like that, the why and how you're living in your space and how it can really support you as a person and what you're all about, and teaching you and how to sort of translate that into the things that you choose to put into your home and choose to surround yourself with. So I thought that was a really great episode. That would be a nice one to listen to, maybe even more than once, to put it in the rotation and remind yourself about adding yourself, your stamp, your personality, and that of your family into your spaces. Another really good one was less stuff, more style.
Oh, I almost chose that one because that was another favorite.
Yeah, that's a good one. And we kind of formatted that one as a how-to guide. And it wasn't just about, make 3 piles, Goodwill, keeping, giving, all that. It was really about how to achieve the more style, as well as purging your items and sort of winnowing it down and taking control of your space in a really good way. So if you're feeling like, hey, I've just got too many things, and maybe it's a time of year where everybody's home more and everybody's got sports equipment and flip-flops and, beach towels, and you're just feeling overwhelmed, this might be a great episode to dig into. And maybe you even can't get to the less part until September. Oh, September. Such a special month for so many people. And then you can incorporate the more style. So I would definitely tune into that one. Oh, and I should say, as we're going along, you don't have to go search for all of these by title. We are going to have them all linked in the show notes and making it super easy for you to access each one of these.
And what was your last one?
My last one is throw a summer party, inspiration and details on doing that. So I just thought I'd cap it off with that. Maybe you're thinking about a party, or maybe this will inspire you to decide to have one. So in that episode, there's a lot of great, really easy and fun ways to throw a party where it's not overly taxing for you and you can actually enjoy the time with your guests as well. And the summer is a perfect time and you can have them all outside, which is really nice.
Well, I've got to go listen to that because I have a lot of people pressing on me to have them out here and to host parties. Hey, let's come to your new house. And I'm thinking, I'm still in the middle of so many projects. So I'm holding people off as best I can for just a little bit longer.
Oh, it's going to be great. Well, anytime you invite me, I'm coming back. So
yeah, come on.
So what are we defining today?
We're defining a C table. C as in the letter C, not as in the ocean.
Oh, okay. Now I know what you mean.
Yeah, so a C table is a type of accent table. It's shaped kind of like the letter C, so it slides under a sofa or chair so that you have the writing surface on top, or it's a surface for a drink or a snack. I mean, the beauty of these C tables is you can slide them into place exactly where you need them and use them there. But then when you don't need to use it, like maybe you just use it for your laptop, when you're not using it, you can then move it over and make it a side table for your chair or for your sofa, or even put it in a closet. So really, you can just have it in position when you're using it. If you're using it every day, you can leave it out, but that's what it is. And it's a pretty new invention, for lack of a better word. I mean, they haven't been around for a long time, but I really thought about getting one to use here. I didn't, at the end of the day, I didn't end up getting it, but I thought it would be very functional and very useful to have.
Same here. I don't have one. I've gotten ones for clients, and I think it's fantastic, especially if you're working from home, or even if you're a person who just likes to move around in their house and use their laptop in different places. It's fantastic. You can sit on the couch, you can pull it up. What I don't like is when people leave the C table sort of just sitting there, because it does sort of, like a C would, kind of wrap around the sofa or the chair a little bit, and it seems a little awkward there. So it's easy enough to just put it off to the side. I wonder if there are any C table nesting tables, but that might be weird because the littler ones wouldn't do the C thing. So probably not. But
well, if you want to smash your kneecaps, I think that would be great.
Right. Or if you're a very little small person, maybe, I don't know, if you're a child-sized C tables, but move them off to the side when they're not in use. I think that looks better if there's a place for them off to the side. So I wouldn't use it as an additional table if there was not another place for it to live all the time.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think I like, I don't have to think about it. I don't like the idea of it just being in place all the time. I think just when it's in use, then move it over to the side, make it a side table.
Yeah. What's your crush?
Oh, I am so excited about my crush. So excited. It's not practical, so don't fall over. I know. And it is very topical because this is something that you might want in the summer. And it is a Ninja creamy ice cream maker. Have you heard of these?
No.
Okay, so it works a little different than other ice cream makers. So it comes with, depending on the model you buy, I bought the kind with the pint-sized containers. So you mix up all your ingredients for your ice cream and you put it in a pint-sized container that comes with the unit. And you put it in your freezer for 24 hours. Now, when it comes out, and this is the problem with making ice cream at home, it's one block. It's a one solid block of ice and cream or whatever you have in there. And you just let it sit out on your counter for about 5 minutes, and then you put it in this machine, and it's got a mixing paddle that actually goes in the ice cream and kind of goes up and down. You take the pint jar and attach it to the ice cream maker, and there is a paddle that goes down into the pint jar, and it stirs it just like the old-timey ice cream makers that we used to have when we were kids, where our parents put all that the rock ice outside, the container in the center, and there was a panel in there, a paddle that would move.
Dude,
what's so funny?
I don't know that. Just like I didn't know, like, skillet or something. No, my parents never had rock ice. So we don't do that.
They didn't make homemade ice cream?
No.
What?
No, they would give me like $4 and I would walk to the Friendlies and I would buy a gallon of ice cream.
Well,
and
you
walk
haven't
home
lived
really
till you had
fast.
Homemade ice cream. That was the best. Oh my goodness. We would get to all my cousins and my grandparents, and they would make that ice cream, and it was so good. So this thing works super well, and if it doesn't do a great job with it, you just remix it until it's super creamy. And it's perfect for someone like me because I'm not going to eat traditional ice cream. First off, I don't eat all that sugar. And then I don't eat heavy cream unless it's fermented. So I will either use yogurt or coconut milk, and I don't use I I don't use refined sugar
This is
either.
becoming not really fun anymore.
I know it's not fun anymore. But because I'm so darn picky, I can't just go buy it. And I don't like all the additives. So I just have to make it myself so that I know what's in it and it's the ingredients that I want.
Okay.
But it did a fantastic job. I've made coconut coffee ice cream and I've made a frozen yogurt. Well, actually, I just did vanilla so far, but I am going to experiment with different fruits. You can make sorbet, you can make a gelato. I mean, it does a fantastic job. And the other beautiful thing about it is you can just do 16 ounces. So, I mean, that's all it does make at a time. But the beauty of it is you can make 4 different flavors at a time. You don't have to make a gallon of one type of ice cream because, we just eat a little bit at a time. So this is a perfect size for us. So if you get it, I recommend that you also get extra pint containers to go with it because if you're having a crowd, you're going to want to make extra of the same ice cream or maybe just make four different kinds. And I will include a link and you're going to love it.
Oh, I'm excited. Okay.
What's yours?
Well, I think I talked about watching the Stanley Tucci Searching for Italy show, which I loved so much. Well, now I listen to his book. I'm all about Stanley Tucci. My daughters are kind of rolling their eyes. They're like, okay, what else did you learn from Stanley Tucci? But it's great. I mean, I'm just talking about doing a deep dive. Yeah. Did a deep dive into Stanley Tucci. So his book, I listen to it. He narrates it. He's got a great voice. I mean, he's not an actor by accident. It's fantastic. So Stanley Tucci, Taste My Life Through Food. And I would highly recommend it. It is so enjoyable. It's about 7 hours long. It's got great reviews. There are recipes. There's how we got into food and about him when he wrote and produced and I think even directed Big Night. I don't know if anybody saw that movie. I remember seeing it when it first came out. And of course, guess what? We watched it again on Friday. And it's awesome. So yeah, if you want to do a deep dive into Stanley Tucci, watch the show, listen to the book, and then sit down with a glass of rosé and enjoy Big Night. Can't go wrong with that movie. Isabella Rossellini, Stanley Tucci, lots of other famous people, Minnie Driver. It's a great cast, and it's a great movie. But the book, top notch.
Wow, that sounds great. And I love it when the author narrates the book. If it's someone else reading it, the intonation isn't right. It feels completely different if the author is reading it.
Yes, and because this is also autobiographical, obviously, it really makes a difference that he's reading it. It would be like if somebody else did our podcast. That wouldn't be so good, right?
Well, and David Sedaris, his voice is just very unique, and I love listening to his audiobooks with his voice. And I think he had a new one that came out, and it wasn't his voice, and I was like, oh, I can't even listen to that.
Really? He did one without his voice?
I think maybe he got tired of reading his own words. I don't know.
Oh, come on, David.
Yeah, that's impossible.
I was working out the other day and listening to Best of Me, which is, it's a he always has he's an essayist, right? So there's always a series of essays. And I was listening to it and I was lifting pretty heavy weights. Honestly, I almost dropped the weight. I would start to laugh so hard. So you cannot listen to something funny while you're lifting weights. There's a tip for you. And definitely David Sedaris is very funny to me. We saw him live last year and it was hilarious.
Oh. My introduction to him years ago was Me Talk Pretty One Day.
Yes.
Which is a beautifully funny book. But I mean, he has so many more. I mean, I've read or listened to most of his books and they are hilarious.
Well, this is Crush, Crush, Crush. And so we're giving people even more listening or reading for their summer entertainment. And we want to remind you that the consults are open and available. We do have some dates that are still available during the summer, I believe. Is that correct?
No. Well, no. By the time, no. We just have one. Okay. And that was, by the time this goes live, that one's going to be passed. So, no.
Okay.
Not until September. But you can get ready for September.
Yeah. get your ideas ready and get your photos taken and sign up for a consult. We would love to talk to you. And it is so easy to do it. You want to tell everybody how they do that?
You can go to our website, decoratingtipsandtricks.com, and look at the top for consults and click on that. And then that will give you information. But basically, you click on the link and it's a PayPal link so that you would pay there, but you can use your credit card. You don't have to use a PayPal account. But once you purchase the consult, then we send you an email with further information. We send you our calendar and you can get on our calendar at that point. Then you send us your photos and your question. And typically it's one room. Occasionally, if it's short, we can get in more than one room, but that's only if you just have one or two questions about each room, because we really do go into everything about that room. And I cannot tell you how many times people come in with maybe three things, but while we're looking at the room, we say, well, have you thought of this? You said you were going to keep that, but what if you change that? Or, you said you want to get rid of this thing, but we think it's fine. I mean, it's amazing how much detail we go into in that one room, and everyone is always happy. I don't think we've had one unhappy customer. I mean, everybody at the end of the day has been very happy.
Yes. And they seem to be furiously scribbling notes and taking things in. So it's a great opportunity to get two sets of eyes on your space and give you some actionable advice. And sometimes, oftentimes we talk people out of doing things, and those things often would have cost them a lot of money. So think about it as cost savings as well. That's the way I kind of like to look at the world. Like, oh, I didn't do that, so look all that money I saved.
We do that a lot. I am surprised how many times we save people money. And that's really the point. We're trying to keep you from making costly mistakes. So even if maybe you spent $300 more for this sofa versus the one you were going to buy, if that means you're going to be able to keep this sofa a long time and you're going to be happy with it for the long haul, you've saved money versus the cheaper one that you bought and kept for a year and you hated and couldn't wait to get rid of. Just like, my mom, she really wanted an inexpensive mattress. So I found one for her that had good reviews, but it's not the one I really recommended. She bought it, and pretty much as soon as she could no longer return it, she says it was terrible and she wanted to return it. I'm like, sorry, Mom, it's too late. And then a year, 2 years later, she has replaced it. So at the end of the day, if she had bought the more expensive mattress, she would have saved money.
Well, this was fun. You guys have a lot of listening to do, so get to it.
Well, thanks so much for hanging out with us. And remember, we are here to inspire you to create a beautiful home. Until next time.